My friends, if you don't already know, my name is Igor Vovkovinskiy. In 2010, I got the award for being the tallest man in America while being on the Dr. Oz show. So, I don't know if you can see the certificate hanging here in the background below the Ukraine banner, but it's there. I'll show you in the next video. I want to answer some questions that my friends gave me on Facebook, and hopefully I don't go too long. Okay, Brenda asks me, tell me about your life in your homeland. I would love to, but that would take literally hours. But if you want to ask some specific questions, please do so for next time. Just, make them about specific things. Okay, Holly says, which one gets colder, winters in Ukraine or Minnesota? Like this year, when we've been talking to our friends and relatives in Ukraine, their winter has been very mild. For approximately maybe 2.5, 3 weeks now, it's actually quite warm. They're actually able to go outside like in sweatshirts now. And our friend in Zaporozhye has actually been already getting her garden ready to plant. Usually we don't get as much snow typically, but I also think Minnesota is colder also. I hope that answers your question. Alright, Jamie asks if you can go back to a certain age, what age would you go back to and why? Oh my gosh, I would probably go back to like 5 or 6 years old, before I had any problems in life, before I knew any troubles. I didn't care if I was tall or not. I was too busy going with mom to all the museums and the theaters and the zoos and the circuses. And every summer we went just to go swimming on the Black Sea, typically for about 2 weeks. And it was the greatest time in my life. I remember it often, and I actually talk about it with mom quite often because I miss those times. I really do. Okay. Martha asks, do you speak in Ukrainian or English with your mom? It's funny. Even though I was born in Ukraine, the school that I went to for a very short period of time taught in Russian, and also I think most kids around me spoke in Russian, and maybe even my grandma, but I actually answer always in Russian when I'm at home. It's weird, mom speaks in clean Ukrainian, but I've never been able to speak in Ukrainian very well because I start stuttering and it just doesn't sound right. Martha also asks, do you have a group in Minnesota of Ukrainian friends to celebrate your Ukrainian festivities? We really don't, Martha. Rochester is kind of dead zone for people who want to do anything together. There are a decent sized community in Rochester of like Russian speaking people from the old Soviet republics, but they don't really like getting together, doing stuff. We used to have a club here in Rochester that we tried to make it work, but it just never worked. Okay. Gary asks, at what age did you begin to truly understand that you were going to be much taller than everybody else? I don't recall ever being concerned about it until we came to the United States. and we started going to these doctors, and they would be starting talking about these surgeries that would last for, I think, like 10, 12 hours, and that scared me. So I think around 7-ish is when I started kind of knowing that, yeah, I'm gonna be bigger than everyone else. Um, Gary also asks, besides the pain and clothing, shoe thing, what is the biggest obstacle for you? The biggest obstacle is probably flying. Basically, I doubt I'll ever be able to fly again because, because of my size. My legs can't, have any room. First class, yes, it's much better, but first class is so expensive that unless something drastically changes in my life, I can't afford to fly first class or business class for that matter. And the other big problem is, and this is again what you're referring to, what is the biggest obstacle for me? Even if I can sit in an airplane, I can't go to Ukraine anymore because I cannot fit into any airplane restroom. So, Jared also asks, how cool was it to be in a movie and meet, oh shoot, I forgot her name. Oh, Jenna Fisher from The Office. I don't know if everyone knows, I played like a 6-7 second role in the movie Hall Pass, written by the Farrelly brothers. I got the amazing opportunity to fly down to Atlanta and watch how movies are made behind the scene, and they gave me the opportunity to be in the movie for just, a little short period of time, and I was so nervous and so, new to this thing that it took like 3 hours to film my second, my 7-second piece. So yeah, but I got to meet Owen Wilson for a little bit, Jason Sudeikis, who was formerly of Saturday Night Live, Jenna Fisher, and Christina Applegate from Married with Children. I have a photo with her and Jenna Fisher together, and I'll try to insert it into the video. I don't know if I know how to do that, but I'll try. Alright, Bethany asks, are your brother's kids learning Ukrainian? Bethany, my brother did start teaching my nephew Ukrainian, like, the first, like, 2-3 years, or maybe 4 years that that he was able to start actually learning things. But as life happened, it kind of stopped altogether, and now my nephew really can't speak Russian, Ukrainian. He understands quite a lot of it, but he can't actually speak it. Okay. Amy asks, do you ever get angry about your medical situation? Absolutely. Pretty much nowadays, not a day goes by that I don't get angry at the medical establishment here in the United States. What I mean by that, don't grill me for that. Maybe I misspoke. I am extremely grateful to the Mayo Clinic for everything they've done. Thank you, Mayo Clinic. My doctors were amazing. The doctors that performed the surgery that cut my skull open and removed the tumor was done by 2 brilliant doctors, Dr. Zimmerman and Dr. Ebersold. I owe them my life. But the past 15, 16 years, I've been in a chronic, debilitating pain. And besides the muscle and bone pain I'm experiencing, I'm also experiencing so much pain from my non-healing wounds. And even though mayo has nothing to do with my pain, it's not like they're causing it, it still doesn't stop me from being human and blaming them. So, yeah. Holly asks, what's the funniest reaction you've seen to someone seeing your height? We used to go to the Mall of America quite a lot up here in Bloomington, Minnesota. It's about like an hour and 10 minutes drive for us. And people just would freak out when they would see me. But I saw one gentleman, he was drinking from his Starbucks cup, and all of a sudden he saw me walking, and he just kept staring at me and walking forward, and he ran straight into like a pillar thing, and he spilled his drink all over, and so I think that was pretty much the funniest thing I've ever seen, as far as a reaction goes. Carrie asks, what is your favorite thing to do as a kid? She adds, growing up in the Highlands, I remember you always rode your bike. I loved riding my bike when I was a kid. All summer long, I would be on that thing, riding circles around where we lived. As a kid, I also loved doing things like collecting, like sports cards, and playing the good old Nintendo, playing basketball. I liked to play baseball at that time, like backyard baseball, not that type of stuff. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, Joe asks, what is your favorite thing in pop culture, like movie or music? As far as movies, I have a few core favorites that I can watch and rewatch and watch it again, and I can't get tired of it. I don't know why. There's a movie called Gettysburg. It's, I think, from the 90s. I love that movie. Of course, Braveheart with Mel Gibson. We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. Shawshank Redemption. Gladiator. I love Gladiator. Alright. Music. I typically listen to like classic rock. I like interesting underground hip hop music. Not because I understand what they're yelling about, but because I like the actual, music part, and I think it's a incredible talent to be able to rap, and some of these guys actually rap about, like serious subjects and not bullcrap about how much money they have, so I like that kind of hip hop. Also older stuff, of course. I'll always love Tom Petty, Billy Joel, John Mellencamp, Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, Doors, George, I can't pronounce his name. George Thorogood, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Eminem. There's a couple of underground rappers that I'm really enjoying. One is Vinny Paz. I think he's out of Philadelphia, and he has like a group. It's called Army of the Pharaohs, and it has quite a number of members. I'm enjoying their music right now, and yeah. I hope these answers were interesting. I hope you watched the video, and I'll do this again sometime once I get some more questions. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to ask me a question, I guess put it in the comments. I'm not sure what I'm doing with YouTube. I've never really done anything too serious with it, so I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Thanks for watching.